Spooky greetings, Code fans. This is the Code Whisperer, and today for Code Along at Home, I thought we would do the first in a series of spooky videos to celebrate Halloween. So here I am. I've got a very non-serious Halloween hat on, and I'm ready to write some code. So today we're going to be making a Lorem Ipsum generator for spooky Halloween sentences. All right, I got my editor open. I got my bottle of monster blood that I am going to drink while I code this. And let's do it. Let's make a Lorem Ipsum generator. So let's start by just kind of glitzing up this page. I'm on CodePen, by the way, just like my previous videos. You can go to the URL up there. So we'll add an H1 and we'll just say spooky Ipsum. Then we will add a div tag and give an ID of Ipsum. Now let's add a button that we're going to kind of hook in to our Lorem Ipsum. We'll just make a button and we'll have it say, what's something spooky we could say? Yes, let's make a button and we'll just say, click me for spooky Ipsum. Ooh. And now we'll put an on click and we'll say generate Ipsum. And here in our JS, we'll add a function. Or actually, no, we'll say window dot generate Ipsum. Let's copy this. And we'll just say console.log making Ipsum. And so if we click this, great, we see our console log. That means all our scaffolding's hooked up and we're ready to go. Oh, spooky. That's when spooky think of juice. All right, now as you know, to make a Lorem Ipsum generator, you need a long list of spooky type words. So let's make a list, and we'll just make it partial, and we'll fill it in a bit later. We'll add a few, like 5 or 10. And we'll just put this kind of after our code, so it's not just being annoying, and at the top it'll be hoisted, probably, because it's a const. So we'll say const spooky phrases, and that's an array. So let's fill it up with some spooky phrases. Black cat, nightmare, pumpkin. Let's see if there's actually a list of comma-separated spooky words we can just use. These words are all good. I like them. Hard to get these. They're not the right format, really. I mean, I guess they are. Halloween vocabulary list? I want these in the right format. Let's just write the first part of the list by hand. Let's just go for 2 or 3 more. Skeleton and boo. Good stuff. So we have our list of spooky things. So let's define a couple of variables. We'll say num paragraphs. I'll just make that 3. And we'll say const num sentences. This is the number of paragraphs and sentences and words per sentence that we are going to use. And so we'll say there's 5 sentences. And then const words per sentence, we'll make that 7. So inside this generate ipsum block, we'll make a loop, and we'll have ourselves a string. We'll say const ipsum string. We'll make an empty string. So let's just try it to make one sentence. So we'll make a for loop, var I equals 0. I is less than words per sentence, and I plus plus. So let's see, we want a random word. This would be easier with Lodash. Let's just add Lodash in to CodePen if we can. And there it is, great. So there is Lodash. Well, you can use a JavaScript preprocessor, that's cool. So now we should have Lodash. So let's just try it. We'll say console.log lodash.sample spooky phrases. And so this should happen whenever we click the button. Cool. So every time we click it, we're getting all these scary, spooky phrases. It's pretty scary, folks. I'm scared about all these words. So we're getting our sample of spooky phrases. So we're going to want to kind of take those and append them to the ipsum string. So we'll define a substring for the sentence because we're going to want to give it sentence case when we're done. So we'll say const sentence string. And then for each one of these spooky phrases, we will just add it to the sentence string. And we'll add just a space after each one. And then we'll add a period to the end of the sentence string once we're done. And we want to get rid of that trailing space. Let's just do it this way. So up here, we'll say if I is less than words per sentence minus 1, so if it's not the last one, then we'll just say sentence string plus equals a space. And here we want to put a period at the end of the sentence string. And then we'll just put the sentence string on our div called ipsum. All right, is that going to work? Let's see. No, it doesn't work. Assignment to constant variable. Right, let's make this sentence string here a let. And this ipsum string too, because we're going to change them as we need to. So that's looking good, except our HTML isn't changing. I'm wondering why. Usually it wants us to do document.getElementById. And just get it by the ID ipsum. And then change its inner HTML. Let's try that now. That's weird. Let's try putting that before the console log. Let's log this element. Is it even finding any element? Yeah. Is my inner HTML, did I put a typo here? Oh yes, that should be sentence string, not ipsum string. But actually we'll just take our ipsum string and we'll add our sentence string to it. So now I just have a kind of a whole string of sentences going. And bam! Boo skeleton, black cat, boo pumpkin, boo black cat. That's a start. That's a start because we are programming today. Let's get rid of this log. So that's looking good. Now let's capitalize the first letter of the sentence. I actually can never remember how to do this. Let's look it up. Straight to Stack Overflow. Oh, this got enough answers, didn't it? So just copy this. This is apparently going to do it. Actually, just take the whole function. No need to get fancy here. Just take the function, shove it in here at the bottom. Just put it wherever the code will fit. Copy this. And we'll actually just call capitalized first letter on sentence string here when we render it. And if we render it, great, cool. That looks like a big old sentence, doesn't it? So now let's do this one time for the number of sentences. And this has to be a different thing, so I'll make this J in this outer closure. And then we'll put all this code just inside that. So that's going to run once for each time we do a sentence. And that doesn't really look like, right? It was like I made an error here or something with the indenting. Something about it indenting is not right, but the code is working, so that's good. So yeah, let's put this in this closure. And also this in this closure. And I really don't know what's going on with this second closey bracket. It's really upsetting me. Let's see, does this work? Not quite. Now let's put this sentence string declaration in this closure. That makes more sense. And we'll put these outside of this closure. Good. So now we have proper uppercase things. Let's actually make a space go here after this period in our template. That's good. And let's actually call generate ipsum here at the bottom so we don't have to click it every time. Ooh, spooky. Are you scared? I'm scared. All right, so this is looking good. Let's expand our spooky phrases list. I'll just add a bunch more. You can add more or not. It doesn't matter. You can make it your own list of whatever kind of words you want. Say monster, haunted, afraid, spooky, the word spooky itself. Let's say jack-o'-lantern, mommy, werewolf. There's so many good spooky words, you know? Do we have vampire there? No. Vampire. Blood. And scare. That's good, and it's not rendering. Did we make a mistake here? Yes, there's no comma after boo. There we go. Good stuff. So this is all looking good, but let's wrap each of these paragraphs in a paragraph tag. That's tricky. So many closures. Get rid of this console log. So let's add another closure around this and make it for paragraphs. And that should probably be a let, but it's too late now to go fix that. You should make that let. I trust you. Put this for loop inside the above for loop. And then we got this thing. What's this extra bracket doing here? I really don't like it. And this should be number of paragraphs. And so at the beginning of the num paragraph loop, we'll make ipsum string plus equal a paragraph tag. And at the end of this loop, we'll just make it equal a close paragraph tag. Pretty ghetto, but it's going to get the job done. And that's looking good, but that's too much. That's every sentence. So we want this one closure up. And then this closure? Okay, you know what, wait, no, it worked, but now it doesn't. All right, cool. So here's our ipsum. If we click the button again, we get more spooky ipsum. That basically works right there. What do we want? We want to make this whole layout spookier, so let's do that. Let's say body, background color is black. Font is orange. Font color. All right, how about font 14 pixel white? Font color, color, orange. Oh, look at that go, that's great. And what font can we choose? Can we just say Comic Sans? Comic Sans MS? Maybe just Sans? Nothing we're typing here seems to change the font that shows up. So that's fine for font. We do want to make these paragraphs not so wide though. So we'll actually add a width to the body. 600 pixels. And can we say margin auto? Is that going to work? Yes, now that's in the middle. And now we're actually got our very own Lorem Ipsum generator. You can just take this and bam, it makes all the Lorem Ipsum you want. That's pretty cool. What do we want to do still? Let's make the font a little bigger. Maybe 24 pixels. Yeah, that's super cool. It's a little bit too big though to fit on our screen. Whoops, that's not right. 18 pixels. That looks good. And lastly, let's just add a few more elements to my list because I'm just a little obsessive like that. Candy, witch, cauldron, trick or treat, chainsaw, drive-in, since you always go to the drive-in theater to see a spooky movie. And one more. Abomination. All right, voila. So we have our Lorem Ipsum generator. The code pen is here at the top if you want to check it out. And that's all there is to it. Generate Lorem Ipsum all day and have a boo mummy mummy skeleton cauldron witch scare day.